Okay, I have with me David Trevisan of DCT Painting of Manhattan. He actually is a house painter. I've known him for quite a while, a number of years, and
mention one thing. My name, if it matters, my name is Trevisan.
Trevisan. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you for repeating. Thank you for correcting me. So I've known David for a number of years, and we have spoken, and so I wanted to get him on an interview, so that way, if you're looking to have your house painted, learn more about him and have him, if you could use him for your home. Okay, so Dave, what exactly are you from?
Originally, I'm from Jersey.
Okay, awesome. When did you move into New York?
I moved into New York in August of 2014.
Okay, and when did you start your painting business?
Pretty much right around that same time.
So how long have you been in the painting business?
Over 6 years. It'll be 7 years in August of 21.
Okay, wow. So what exactly do you do in your painting business? I know that, do you focus on just residential or commercial?
Well, I do both. The majority of what I do is internal residential,
Okay.
but I've also done some business in the hospitality, food, restaurant industry.
Okay, awesome. So what kind of services do you offer for your painting?
Well, basically, we offer, a full painting service. Sometimes we go into a place that's completely empty and ready to go. Sometimes we have a place that's fully furnished and in need of a lot of repair. So we do plastering and skim coating and surface preparation. We try to use only the best products in terms of the quality of the materials, and customer satisfaction is our main objective. We want to give a good quality product that the customer is very happy with. And at this point, we've been able to do that to the point where we do get a fair amount of business from referrals from existing customers.
Awesome, that's good. So with what's going on with Google, with the pandemic, COVID, has it affected your business in any particular way?
Yeah, I would say so. Although fortunately less so now than earlier on. When I finished my last job before the pandemic in March of 2020, and then soon after that in the city we pretty much had a basic shutdown. Go to the drugstore and go out for a walk and go to buy groceries. So there was a pretty long stretch from the start of that until the summer, and then things started to open up a little bit in the summer, got a little better in the fall, and now I'd say over the last couple of months, well, may say since January 1st, things have almost kind of gotten back almost to normal.
Okay, good. What kind of procedures do you have in place when you go into someone's house for painting?
I'm sorry, can you do that again?
What kind of procedure do you have in place when you go into someone's house for painting?
Well, basically, at this point, we try to follow the COVID protocols, masking and social distance and hand washing, and try to make sure that it's safe. In that regard, that's our first priority. And then typically what I do is go into the house and meet with the prospective customer, and we have a conversation about exactly what they want done. And then I write up a detailed quotation covering all the things that we do. And based on the response, we set a date and we get started.
So you actually go in there and do a before the actual painting, you actually go in there and have a conversation with them first to do a pre-quote.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
We want to see what the job is, because every job is different.
Okay.
Anywhere from going into a newly refurbished apartment that's empty where it's all white and they want to just paint it white, versus going into a, a very crowded apartment where people are living there and the place hasn't been really maintained, where you have peeling paint on the ceiling and holes in the walls. And so there really is a whole level of a spectrum of requirements, from the very simple to something more along the lines of a restoration.
Okay. Let me ask you, how did you actually exactly get into painting? I mean, what had you get into that? Was this something that you were working for a different profession, or you just hopped into it? You went to school for it?
Well, I've been painting since I was actually quite young. I remember the first project I did as a kid. We just bought or my parents had bought a new house, and my father brought me along, and it was the summer before fourth grade, and he gave me a paintbrush and a little bit of paint. I guess the main objective there was not to make too big of a mess. But so pretty much all along, from teenage years on, I've been painting around the house, and always kind of enjoyed it, and basically got into it formally in 2014.
How are you advertising your business?
Well, that's a good question. Probably not enough.
Okay.
I am on some Facebook pages. I also put physical posters up in buildings,
Okay.
on bulletin boards. But yeah, basically marketing is, if there's one area where there's hopefully should be some low-hanging fruit where I haven't really developed, is in the marketing area, which I'd like to get stronger at.
Okay. Where exactly do you operate your business? How far do you go from where to where?
Well, most of my business is Manhattan. I have done work in Brooklyn. I've gone up done some work on the Upper East Side. I've actually gone up as high as into Harlem. And then I've actually done some work out of state. I've done some work in Jersey. I've done some work in Fairfield County in Connecticut. I've even done some work up in the Boston area in Massachusetts.
Wow. How big is your crew, by the way?
Well, it depends on the project. If it's just painting a room or painting an apartment, sometimes I do it by myself. Sometimes I'll have one or two other people help me.
Okay. Are you providing the paint, or does the customer have to paint already? How does that work?
Well, typically I buy the paint. I get a better price as far as a discount because of the amount of paint I buy, okay. And then I just charge the customer my price. I don't mark up the paint. They reimburse me for what's on the receipt from the store.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Let me ask you a question. Since you're self-employed and everything, do you have any? I mean, like, what is your morning routine like? Some people are very lazy. I mean, do you get up like early in the morning right away and you start thinking about stuff?
I'd say it varies from time to time. And I think that's a good question when it comes to being self-employed. Obviously, when there's a job to do, I'm up early and at the job site. On the days when I'm not specifically working on a job site, that would be more towards business development, where I'm trying to stay in touch with prospects and work on advertising.
Okay, got it. Any particular books that you are currently reading that comes to mind?
Yeah, I'm reading. Believe it or not, I'm reading Hemingway.
Oh wow!
I'm reading a Farewell to Arms, and I just happened to pick it up and started to read it. I didn't probably get as much of the classics as I might have during the high school and college years. So that's what I'm reading right now. Although most of the time I kind of prefer to read nonfiction. I like history.
Okay. I know that there's also a lot of scammers out there for painting jobs. How would you tell someone who's watching this video, like how to actually avoid the scammers?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think the fact that we try to go out there and meet the people. I mean, I think a lot of scamming, if there is such a thing, and there is such a thing, would have to do with the price and the quality of the work. So if somebody's, I guess, if you speak with someone and it seems like the price is out of line or out of budget or doesn't seem to make sense, that might be a good, red flag, because you want to have a good return on your investment. And then the other thing is, if you have questions in your gut about somebody, that's usually a red flag.
Okay.
And if you have any doubts, it's usually a good idea to get a couple of quotes. I mean, I think that's the reason that we like to go meet the people. They get a chance to develop a trust, develop an understanding of how we work, and more importantly, we get an understanding of what the customer's expectations are. And we basically don't feel the job is done until the customer feels it's done. So
Okay.
we want to make sure that they're satisfied with the work before they sign the check and before we leave the job.
Okay. I know that I want to ask. I mean, this is something a lot of people might be watching this and say, "Oh, I want to go out and start my own painting company." What advice do you have for anyone who want to start their own painting?
Well, if it's possible, it might be a good idea to get some painting work, working with somebody else, to see if you actually enjoy the work. And other than that, I guess it would depend on the level of experience. Like you say, if somebody has painting experience and they know they like doing it, that would be a big first step. If they haven't done it, I guess another thing would be if they have their, paint a room in their own house and see if it's something that they enjoy doing. If they're past that, then I guess you have two routes. One is to just go out on your own and start to advertise, or it might make more sense to go with and work with someone, just to the learning experience and also the experience of knowing if it's something that you enjoy enough that you want to pursue it as a business.
Okay. What kind of equipments do you use in your painting jobs?
Well, it's fairly basic. We use rollers, we use brushes, but we don't do too much spraying. Spraying is, in an urban environment, indoors, spraying doesn't come up that often. So I'd say 90%, no, more than 90% of what we do, 98% of what we do is just conventional use of high quality rollers and brushes and high quality paint and primer products.
I am done with your interview. I'm gonna stop this. Hold on.